Hey everybody, we're just waiting for my co-host to join us here. Yep. Your sound's very choppy here.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Sound better
There
now.
we go. Oh, and guess what? So? You heard that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's you.
Oh,
How you doing, man?
rough morning.
Rough
I
one?
feel a little. Yeah, one of those nights you go to bed thinking like I'm having a stroke or a heart attack or something, but
Yeah.
you go to sleep and then you wake
Yeah.
up in the morning and you still don't feel right. So I kind of I got the kids to school and I just kind of laid in bed and watched some old Star Trek and Next Generation. The Cure from Price is Right not being on, and just kind of laid around for a little bit and. But feeling a little bit better now. So trying to get myself going this morning. Gonna get back into my diet. I've not been eating well for the holidays. My birthday's over, everything's over, so it's time to buckle down and clean my system here.
Yeah. Diet. I need to get a diet too, but yeah, we won't talk about that.
And for me, it's like I don't want to gain the weight. I don't. It sucks, and it's like, and I can lose it, but it's the feeling. It's like I see these people like 600 pound life man when they're like, they're still walking around. I look at, or they're working. Some of them working 500, 600, 700 pound guy was still working, driving a truck, and I'm like, dude, I gained 20 pounds and I'm bedridden. I don't even get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no. It's gotta be something in their physiology or something because it's just no. I was watching clips of a 1,000 pound life.
Yeah.
How? How can you look at yourself at 850 pounds and be like, I'm a beautiful person?
I don't. I think, I really think it gets down to that there's people that have, there's people that just have different triggers in their brain to create different abilities to do things. And it's kind of like people that can, and I'm not going to say any words here on TikTok because last
Yeah.
week something bad happened.
Words.
People, people that can S themselves,
Yes.
um, you know, I think, and everybody may be able to get to that point to some degree, but I think a lot of people may have those thoughts, but there's only certain people that actually have the ability to physically go do that. And it's the same thing with people who have the ability to hoard or they
Yep.
to the extreme like you see on TV. I mean, we all know some hoarders. Um, I grew up. It's pack rats. People like
Yep.
that. There's people that may have that one room that's packed full of crap. But like when you see it on hoarders, you're like, no, like 3 feet of garbage you've been sleeping
Yeah.
on with
No.
no
That's
running
no.
water. No, it's like I couldn't get to that point. There's something that triggers in your brain and finally stops. And I don't think these people have that. And it's no different. Alcohol is probably the easier one. The people that become hardcore alcoholics. I can't get to that point.
Oh
I've
yeah.
never been able to. I mean, I've drank heavily for days at a time, and then I'm like, I can't.
I've been there. I've been there. I was an alcoholic for many years.
Right.
It
See, your
it's
brain
it
has the
on.
ability to accept it for a
Oh
period
yeah,
of time.
it's an addiction problem. I have a very addictive personality. You
Right.
give me something that makes me feel good, I'm going to be addicted to it.
Well,
Alcohol,
dopamine.
medication. Yeah, yeah.
Right. No,
It's
I
basically
am,
what it is.
and it's funny because I've been told a lot of times, like I, my only real addiction is sugar. I really don't. Anything I've ever done in my life, I've tried for short periods of time, and I just stop it. I don't get addicted to things. It's really weird. I may do.
I lost you.
Yeah, stop the telemarketer calls here. Yeah, telemarketer calls. Um,
Oh,
they want to sell me Medicare. They know I'm getting old. Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy. But
AARP.
I've I figured, hey, just to let you know, I figured we'd start our show at like one, basically, like essentially start.
Yeah, we'll essentially start talking about it.
So,
Fine. Well, which, by the way,
yeah. So, go ahead.
just one quick thing. One of the things that we're talking about today, I got an update on, so I'll let
Okay.
you know about that.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I really, I seem to have the ability to not get addicted to things. I don't know if I get bored of them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact of having both neurodivergent, having the ADHD and autism. One gets like really addicted to it. The other one goes, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I really, I can't, keto was the only thing I really could kind of get addicted to. And I mean, even that I took breaks from and, you know, I don't know. And then I'm off for a year. I just don't do it. And I mean, it's good. It's great for me, but it makes it harder for me to understand when I see these people that like, can't quit cigarettes, can't, which I've been there. And I just, to me, it was like, gone, done. I mean,
Oh,
or,
yeah. For me, that was one of those things. Being raised around cigarettes and everybody in the family smoking,
yeah,
it was easy for me to get into it
right.
because you're constantly around it. Your body's already used to
Saturated.
smelling it anyway, so
Yeah. See,
that
I
was
was around it growing up too. I mean, we always see the memes about like sitting around the dining room table with the grandparents and is playing cards with smoking. And
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I grew up with that. I used to play, cards and rummy and all this with my grandmother and my great aunts and all this and deal coins at 5, 6 years old, and they're all smoking butts and the ashtrays right there, like
Yeah.
in a little tiny room, everything's yellow. That was just the way you did it. And,
Oh, yeah.
people
That
like,
was
hey, you want a
life.
sip of beer? Yeah, I mean, life has changed so much from that. And
Just
now, I mean, I walk by somebody outside smoking a cigarette and my throat closes.
oh
I
yeah.
can't, you can't even be near it.
No, I walk by and I smell a cigarette and instantly I'm like, oh, good, oh, holy shit. Then I walk away because
Yeah, it's
I don't
awful.
have that want anymore.
No. And I mean, and that's why I always I internally get frustrated. It's going to sound really insensitive of me, I guess, and ignorant, but I get frustrated when you have these people that are addicted to stuff. And it's not the ones that go, they're addicted and they're good with being addicted to it. The ones that are like, I really want to stop, but I just can't. And I always get frustrated because I'm like, then just stop. Because I could, I can.
Yeah.
And great, good for me. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but that's always a struggle I have mentally when I'm trying to like, I would be really bad with counseling, I think, because I would be like, why are you not stopping, idiot?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's my feel. And because I could, why can't you? And, but so there's other people that are like, well, I learned three languages, why don't you? And I'm like, I can't. So I have
It's
to
it's
like,
it's a mentality thing.
yeah, and it's your abilities, and luckily one of my superpowers is the ability to not get addicted to anything. Apparently, I mean, like I said,
Which is
sugar.
good. Which is
I
good.
I don't drink. I mean, I have a beer here and there. I really don't. Like we went over my birthday. We had a birthday meal. I had a little flight of beers and then a beer, and I was done. That was it for the night. That's like my drinking. I'll have like one drink once in a while. That's really it. I don't drink otherwise. I don't smoke. I don't do any drugs. I'm not on any pills.
No.
I mean,
Lucky
you know,
you.
right. I've been very fortunate when it comes to like, I'm probably should be. There's some stuff I know. I mean, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, I need to get, especially working in the pharmacy and seeing like, these drugs that I didn't know about. No, I don't mean like the bad drug. I mean like,
Yeah.
just normal stuff for arthritis and stuff. And like, oh, that's what that does. Oh, that exists. Oh, so that's when you have neck pain. Okay, well, I didn't know I could do that. Like, so now I'm like, I got to go back to my doctor, and I don't want to be one of those guys being like, hey, listen, I have 300 milligrams of gabapentin. I need that. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a
No.
doctor, but I also kind of want to be like, I have this going on, and I'm not looking for opioids. So what can we do, this or this or this? And I found that with doctors in the past, they come across the medication, and you mention them like, oh yeah, you can do that if you want. Why have you never suggested this to me? Isn't that kind of your job?
No, yeah, no. See, this has been my whole thing with it. When it comes to doctors and medication, so for instance, I'll give you an example. I went to the doctor's the other day, told the doctor I was feeling depressed. First thing he did was ask me if I wanted a script for Wellbutrin. First thing out the door.
Oh, they
Not
love
why do
giving
you feel
Wellbutrin.
depressed? Are there reasons why you're depressed? Do you want to talk to a behavioral health specialist? No. Right out the door, as soon as I said I was depressed, hey, do you want a script for Wellbutrin? No. No. I just want to talk to somebody.
Right, and that's they're gatekeepers. They're going to give you bupropion. They're going to bump you on those things until you get immune to them. And what the hard part is with those, especially those two, Wellbutrin, bupropion, they'll
Yep.
help in weight loss too. So what ends up happening is it makes you feel good. Then you start losing weight, so you feel better, and you go, "Wow, I'm doing good." And then the medication levels down, and then
Yep.
you start going, "Wait, I'm not feeling." So then you're like, "Well, what else is there?" Well, there's Adderall. You can get some Vyvanse. Well, that's what it is,
Yeah,
because
no, yeah, no,
oh well,
yeah.
not Adderall, but like Zoloft,
No, yeah,
whatever, and
no.
working your way up,
Zoloft,
and
Paxil.
right,
Yeah.
and like with me, I mean, with anxiety and stuff, they in the past they've given me they've gave me lorazepam, and it but that was the first prescription given to me, but the smallest dose and only take a pill when I need it. The problem is, and then they're like, I end up going through 14 of them over the course of 6 months. Once I had an attack, I would take one, and then I wouldn't dare take another one. And then I'm finding out like some people take 3 milligrams a day, every day, and I'm like, and they won't prescribe it to me again, even though I still have the anxiety. And I'm like, well, I've had two scripts in a year and a half, or 2 years now. What do you? I'm not abusing it. Yet 10 years ago, I have a sinus problem. Going, oh, here's 90 Percocet. I mean, there's such a contrast there, and it makes it
Oh,
hard
yeah,
now
yeah.
because now you actually do have a physical problem. You can't get Percocet. You can't get nothing good. Go home, take Advil, Tylenol. You're like, yeah, well, I already did that. Thanks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
my kidney's bleeding.
That's what they told me when I said to the doctor, I said, hey, I've got this pain in my knee because I've been having knee pain because I walked like 12 miles in 4 days. And um, first thing the doctor said was put ice on it, take some Tylenol.
Yeah, I'm like, I can do that. I'm at the doctor because they act
It's
like
not
you're all like
working.
you're like you're an alien that just showed up and have no concept of any concept of medical. Like you're somebody who walked in and go, I don't know anything about self care or medicine at all. I have no clue. I've never done anything. Oh, I need to drink water. Like that's how they treat you sometimes, and
Yeah.
and they get really the flags start popping up when you're educated. And I mean, this is conspiracy theory a little bit, but like it is true. I mean, luckily, I had a doctor for many years that was very good with like I had a good relationship, and he knew I knew what I know and stuff, and very good in walking. Like, hey, listen, I know my sinusitis is flaring up, and I'm probably going to need augmented at this point because I've been on the clindamycin, it's not doing anything. Da 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 da. All right, I'll get you the augmentins. I'm going to get you some prednisone, just give you a little steroid boost, get your system back up. And how's your pain level? And it's a little uncomfortable. All right, well, I'm just going to write you a 20 script or a 15 script for 5 milligram Percocets. Just take them as you need them.
Yeah.
Just that's it. No refills, obviously. Great, do it. Get over it. I'm all healed up. Fine. Don't see him for a year, 2 years. You know, it's like, and that was great. And now it's like you go in and you're like, yeah, listen, I'm really noticing that, like, I'm starting to have a lot of like this going on. I think it might be a thyroid issue. Can I schedule a B12 test? Da, da, da. What um well, have you tried taking Tylenol? And what are you sleeping a lot in that? What are you doing for work? Like, okay, listen, I've run all those scenarios through my head. This isn't my first, this isn't an intake. It's not that, oh, well, I'm drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels every night. Is that my headache problem? Like, no, it's not that.
No.
Listen, I'm well beyond where you're at here. And it's not being on WebMD and being a conspiracy theorist about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I do it. I go on there sometimes because I get something really weird going on. I'm like, what is this? And all of a sudden it's like, you are dying. And like, and then your anxiety's through the roof.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, my ex-wife used to do that. She'd have an issue, she'd look it up on WebMD, and then she would go through like the worst symptoms. Oh, that's what I have. So she'd call up the doctor. And that's where a lot of the pill addiction came from when I was with her because I'd tell her, okay, I'm not feeling the greatest. Okay, well, what are your symptoms? These are my symptoms. She'd look it up on WebMD and, oh my God, you've got, you know,
You got
some sort of
hepatitis and gout
arthritis.
and
You need to go get this. You need to go get
right.
this. And she would tell the doctors, this is what he's having. And the doctors would follow through with it. And I'm just like,
It, that
what?
always amazed. I'm sorry, but that amazes me too. You know, that happened to my wife. Like, guy goes in, yeah, I've got this problem going. Well, okay, well, we'll look into it. We'll do some tests. You go through 3 or 4 appointments, finally, like, all right, we're going to give you a low dose of this and see if it helps. A woman goes in, yeah, I don't feel good. Here you go. Here's some Valium.
Yeah.
Where's my Valium? Like, I mean, seriously, like, sometimes that wouldn't be bad once in a while. I want to go to bed. Like, I mean, I want to take a nap. I don't know. It's not that I'm good at, you look through my 40 plus year medical history. I don't have abuse issues. I don't. If you look at my scripts, those are all pretty much, controls are all very monitored. Like,
Yeah.
test me, test my blood. You can see there's nothing in me. It's not that. It's just like, I hate the fact, like, when you get a really bad toothache, they're like, oh, well, try putting a cold compress on it. Oh my God, F you.
Yeah.
No, that does not work. You know what
No.
I need? I need some morphine. I need, I need something of that level. Vicodin won't touch it. I've been on that stuff.
Oh yeah,
It
no.
won't, no, it doesn't touch it. Percocets would maybe float you through if you took just enough of it where you passed out. Like, you need the real stuff. You need the strong stuff when you get to that
Right.
point. And it's always on a Friday night. So it's like, there's no dentist. You're not going to a dentist for
No, you
days.
ain't going to a dentist.
No, and even if you did, I mean, they're not going to take you in. They're going to do the X-rays. They're going to look at you. They're going to, be like, "Well, we need to give you a root canal." Like, no,
Yep. They're
just
gonna
rip the
write you a
stupid thing out of
script.
my mouth. Right,
Yep.
exactly. And it's like, just I don't know. That's where I really give it to other countries in the world, where you can walk up to the pharmacy, talk to the pharmacist for a couple minutes, and they check your ID and they give you the script. And it's like, you know what? If you want to be an idiot and you go kill yourself with those things, not saying
That's on you.
advocating you should, but that's your problem. Whereas, like, if you're a reasonable adult that you know can handle these kind of things. So, anyways, all right. Well, let's
On with the show.
on with the show.
On with the
All right.
show.
You got some music for us to start this for the recording?
Actually, no. See, the reason I had this,
Yeah.
right quick, the reason I had this, I got into a conversation with a guy over some of my videos this morning. His name was U, just the letter U.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so he said he was going to come in. He said he was going to come in and he wanted to talk. And I've been watching the people coming in. So when he came in, I was going to have it ready. He's coming to go, "Hey, it's you." That's all I was going to do.
Oh.
I was just being a jackass.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, I always do the music. I'm like, dude, you do the music. So, I don't know if you ever heard of this band. This I came across by accident. Let me hear this for a minute. Sounds like an anime, right?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like an anime.
So this is a band called Baby Metal. That's their band name. They're three baby doll Japanese girls with a hardcore metal band behind them, and they do hardcore. That's their softest song. Most of their songs are screaming and hardcore metal, like Slipknot or Cold Chamber or harder. And it's three baby doll girls that sing melodically to it, and they are very popular and getting bigger. They have a lot of albums, and they're actually doing they just did a duet. They did a duet a while back with Tom Morello.
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah, so they're getting pretty big, but they're pretty
What
cool.
the?
What is that?
That was my Dorel.
Government knows. TikTok's there to get you, man.
Ha! Could you just give me 1 minute?
All right, we'll start as
Just
soon as
give
you
me
get back.
1 minute.
Well, everybody, we're on hold here. We're going to listen in. We're going to see what's going on. Mr. J's house. I think he might have the CIA there. They might be there to check him out, see what's going on at his house. They know about all of his secret operations going on. You are part of the underground by watching this. Um, Everybody, stay tuned, stay alert. We don't know what's going to be happening here. I would just be cautious. Pay attention, okay? Keep an eye on your back door, your front door, out your windows. Hang those blankets up because they are coming. They are coming to watch you. They're coming to steal your Amazon packages. You be careful. Oh, see, I think he convinced him to go away. I think he's all right. So hopefully he barricades the door now, and everybody doesn't think anybody is home, so he can continue this underground broadcast of ours, bringing you the facts that you need to hear. All right, we're awaiting his return. Oh no, that almost sounded like a struggle. Jay, are you okay over there?
Oi,
Are you okay? Did the CIA take you down yet?
oi! Oh Jesus!
Oh my God, I think he's in a fight, folks.
And I'm back.
Oh, you survived it. You
Okay.
survived the CIA barricade down there.
Yes,
We
it
were
was.
afraid.
Did
We
the
we were all
did,
listening. We were with you the whole time. We were doing live broadcasts. We were worried because they know about our underground network right now and how we're bringing the facts and the truth to the underground nation. And
Yep.
they're trying to stop this. They don't know where we are.
They haven't found me yet.
Yeah. All right. Every week's a different location. This is a whole stage behind us that we move.
This is a this is a green screen.
Yeah.
It's all green screen.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
not
in
really
Aruba.
here.
He's in Aruba right now. He's definitely not on an island that starts with E. We will not say the
I'm in
name.
yes, I'm in you
Effie's
heard of
Island.
Epstein Island? I'm not there, but
The adjacent. All right. Hey, let's say that name because last week. All right. So
oh my
here we
god.
go. Let's start the show. Let's start the
Let's
show.
start the
All right.
show.
All right. All right. Welcome everybody to the Jab. I'm the Brian. This is Mr. J, my co-host. We are just here to take a jab at politics, pop culture, society, and everything in between. Two guys musing about what's going on, bringing you some facts, letting you figure out stuff for your own self, and having some fun along the way. We are going to try a new format today, a little bit faster, 30-minute run.
We're gonna
And
try.
we just want to say thank you to Flippin' Good Sauces, our sponsor, the best hot sauce, in my view. Mr. J has enjoyed some of this hot sauce.
Good stuff.
Thank you. I
Hotter than
appreciate that.
Satan's taint.
I'm glad you know what that tastes like. It shows me that you're willing to experiment and try new things in the world, you know?
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's get on the show. Over to Mr. J. What's our first topic? Let's go.
Okay, the first topic we're going to talk about is because we were going to talk about this last week, the mass graves in Raymond, Mississippi. Okay? So, 215 bodies were found on the 8th of January behind behind a jail in Raymond, Mississippi. They call it a pauper's grave because it's where you would put somebody who's like a John Doe or a Jane Doe, someone who doesn't have any family. So the reason they found this grave was because March of 2023, Dexter Wade was fatally ran over by a police car. The family was never notified. And so when the family came forward trying to find their family member, this is what they found. They got a hold of an activist by the name of Arthur Reed, who actually went down once they uncovered the grave, went down and he searched the grave, and he said it was the grimmest scene he had ever seen because there were buzzards everywhere, there were animals everywhere, there were bits and pieces of trash where it looked like the bodies weren't taken care of. They were basically just thrown into body bags, thrown into a shallow hole, and let go. They weren't properly embalmed. Nothing. So with Dexter Wade's family finding out, they found out a lot more that there were other family members who were missing their family members, and they were in these graves.
Wow.
So far, there hasn't really been anything that I've seen because I looked more up to see if there was anything else to add to this, like if they are doing an investigation into any of this, and it looks like they want to, but nobody's saying anything. But my biggest thing, and this is what really stuck out in my mind, in the comment section of this one article that I read, how many more jails in the United States are doing the same thing?
Right. And nobody
Like,
has access to those grounds to see. So, I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't.
you would it, is it possible that all the jails in the United States are just basically, well, this person is unalive, so we're just gonna, dump him in a random hole out back behind and, help grow our garden.
Now you said this was in Missouri or Mississippi?
Raymond, Mississippi.
Mississippi. See, sorry, Southern folks hearing this. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's what's scary because I don't see that happening up here. I don't see that happening in the York County Jail. I know that's not happening there. It
Yeah.
just wouldn't. I don't, I think you get these old school, you get the Shawshank Redemption. I know that's mean, but like, I mean, got these like Green Mile style, jails that they just run what they want, longest yard kind of level, just like
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
it's really upsetting though that like you'd have so little respect for the human body that you would just
right.
throw it
Well,
up in its
you know,
trash.
if it's a kid touchers or something, yeah. But I mean, not just random people.
Yeah. I'm wondering though if it's in this area, I'm wondering if it's random, if it's just not random people, but if it's like certain people that the cops have an issue with.
Right. Or well, it could be people doing underground podcasts talking about the news.
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for that one. I'm waiting for a knock on my door with a bunch of men in black
Well,
looking at me like, excuse me.
you just had the knock. That's what we all thought. I mean, we're sitting here
Oh,
thinking what's happening.
no, no.
I
It was somebody dropping off my groceries.
oh
But yeah, no. It nobody. Nah, they wouldn't do that. Yeah. Anyway,
moving on.
hopefully you don't find me in a pauper's grave in a couple of years.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is with like Google Earth and the people that scour that and the AIs and everything. I feel like anything done now would be very hard to pull off without some evidence.
Well, not only that, you do know that the pictures taken from Google Earth are years old, right? They're not up to date.
No, I know, but the
Maybe
thing
in the
is like
bigger areas, but not
no,
small little areas.
but there's history. There's a history run long. It's usually done every 18 months or so,
Yeah.
and you can backtrack, so you can see movements in the ground. They're running programs that Google has updated pictures, and who else is it? Not Tesla. So one of the other ones has a bunch of satellites that have been taking pictures too.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. But
NASA, all of them. So they're always watching movements in the ground for changes because they even use it for like earthquake prediction and stuff. They're watching like chasms form and stuff. So there's little indicators with AI, so they can
yeah,
see
that's
when graves are dug.
no, yeah. Well, like that's like with the volcano. Is it in the Arctic? Is it Iceland? The volcano that just suddenly erupted, and they're saying that it's been waiting to erupt for like the last 800 years.
Yeah,
But it's in a well-populated area, but I think it's like I want to say Iceland. But yeah, they had pictures of
that makes
that from the
sense.
satellite.
Well, that's or Greenland might be.
Yeah.
Probably Iceland actually makes sense.
I
Well,
think
yeah,
it might be
exactly.
Iceland.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I just, if they wanted to investigate it, that's what I mean. It's not that somebody's going to catch people doing this right now, but if they want to go back and look at that landmass over the last couple of years, they're going to pick up at some point where the ground was changing and some time period where somebody's bringing people out there. So,
Yeah, I think it would be if because I think it's because it's a small town. That's why there wasn't such a like. There's
yeah.
so much stuff going on there, and then
Fried green
someone just
tomatoes.
happened to find out about it. But yeah, that's what's going on in Raymond, Mississippi. Let's jump north and come to Maine.
Oh, boy.
Maine moves to create a sanctuary state for transgender teens. Let's have a good one with this one, okay? So, yesterday, and this happened yesterday morning, 10 o'clock, a bill was voted on allowing minors from other states to come to Maine for gender reassignment surgery without the consent of their parents.
Now, just to jump in here, see, from a medical standpoint, emancipated minors cannot get surgical procedures
They
without
can
the
in the state of Maine.
right. But by the National Board of Health to do with the doctors, they can't perform it without losing
Yeah.
their credentials. So essentially, it's just honorary, and I mean, it's for show because yeah, oh yeah, you can come to me and get that done. No doctor or facility is willing to
Yeah.
do it though, unfortunately.
It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's
I know you're tired. I'm trying to think the
and
same
I
word.
can't think of the damn word. But the bill would have allowed the state to take custody of the minor child when they come into the state.
Yeah, I can see that for protection issues. If you had a 15-year-old transgender teen that was being abusive from parents or they were kicked out and they wanted somewhere to go and they were being accepted into the public health spectrum here as shelters, under not under the fact that just because they're like a refugee or something like that, but essentially a political refugee, but because they're a sexual identity refugee, I
Yeah.
guess you want to call it. And if that, there you go, I coined it first, everybody, sexual identity refugees. So uh that's our topic next week. No, so
Sir.
I I wonder if I could see it under that for protective purposes, but that's child protective services at that point, right?
That's Child Protective Services. This, what they wanted was a child could come to the state of Maine, 16 years of age, because there is a law in the state of Maine where at
16
the
is
age of
legal adult
16, they
with
can write
consent.
off on having gender
Yeah, because it's
reevaluation,
age
whatever.
of consent. Age of
Yeah.
consent. That's the problem.
But no, not age of consent.
Well, not
The law states in the state of Maine, and this is an actual law in the state of Maine, a child at the age of 16 years old can write a consent form to a doctor stating that they want hormone therapy,
yeah,
sex change therapy, and a parent doesn't have to give consent.
right. As long as they're 16. Now, see,
But it does not take away the parent's right as a parent
to override that.
to override that. This law would take your rights away as a parent if your child came to this state looking for gender reassignment.
See, and this one's a little bit of a gray area, a touch. I don't agree with it, but
Oh
I,
no, and
from a
neither did the Republicans.
well, no, of course not.
It
This
got dropped.
right, and because all you would need is a couple Dems who would not agree with it either, and it's done. So, because it is, I mean, I think it's still a Democratic controlled House in Maine,
Yeah, I
but
think
not
we're
by
still.
much. But the thing is Maine Democrats aren't all woke. They're not. A lot of them are more independent. So when it comes to
Yeah,
they actually like Jared Golden, they kind of run like that, more independent, or libertarian because they don't. This is dumb.
yeah, it is. It is. So the bill was called an
Who?
act to. It was an act to safeguard gender affirming healthcare.
So who put this forward? Do you know what
Well,
representative?
if I don't remember who the representative, what did I write it down? No, I didn't. Of course
I
I
just
didn't.
wonder if it's somebody out of Portland or something. I
I
just
think it
this
was a
one.
Democrat. I want to say it
Well,
was a
I would
Democrat, and it
imagine.
was brought to the committee in April of last year. Um,
So a year later, they look at it. They
yeah,
probably didn't want to touch it.
basically. Now there was a group. It's called Courage is a Habit. It was a group of parents who were trying to stop it. They had until 10 o'clock Tuesday to inform all of the representatives, "Hey, we need to, back out of this, and this is the reason why." This is what they told them to email. Their message was to the state representatives: there is a lack of long term studies on the benefits of gender affirming care, which could result in the lifelong sterilization and surgical mutilation of children. With lawsuits against hospitals and schools on the rise in 2023, the public is becoming more aware of the potential risks associated with this bill. And that's what a lot of Republican representatives said about the bill. Representative David Hagan
Yeah.
said this bill authorizes the kidnapping and massacring of children from other states without parental consent. And Representative Katrina Smith said the state should never place itself above a loving parent and irreparably destroy the reproductive health of a minor child. I agree with this.
Right. The thing is, if you made gender reassignment surgery 21 plus, allow it. Allow
Yeah,
it for 21 plus. Don't let the insurances get involved.
but and the thing is though is this all goes back to what Massachusetts was talking about when they wanted to raise the juvenile age,
Right.
when they came out with medical and scientific facts saying that your frontal precortex isn't developed until you're 25. So then why are we allowing 16-year-olds to make
Right.
these decisions?
And here's my other thing. If you want to get into a caveat of it, if it was, because you can completely change your lifestyle and live the other sex. You could completely change everything non-medically at that point, right? And get to that point.
Right.
Now, if you and your parents agree at 17 and you talk to a doctor and counselor, you want to start hormone therapy, I can maybe see some kind of bypass allowing on that with the consent thing. That I
Yeah.
can see. When it comes to the actual surgery sides of it, outside of maybe a liposuction or something non-life, and something like that, Botox maybe. I mean, I don't know those kind of basic things, hair,
Right.
hair removal, those kind of cosmetic things. Again, those are kind of like I think with the consents, I wouldn't be concerned about. What I'm concerned about is the implants and removal or those full ones. I think that level should be 21 plus. I mean, because and after a board has looked at the situation and gone, all right, you have lived as a sex for so many years, you have done every other piece of the puzzle, you're still agreeing that you want this, then we can move forward.
Right.
Because otherwise, I mean, why?
I,
It's not a personal choice. You're making somebody else work with your choice.
right.
You're
You're
making somebody
you're
do something for you. I don't know. Just again, it's nothing against, and I have no problem with people that want to transition. I don't. If you want
no.
to do that, go for it. Great for you. But you know, I don't have any tattoos. I'm 42 years old because I haven't made a decision of which one I want yet. And there's multiples. I went in and I was so close to getting it. I'm so glad I didn't. It's one of those things that like I always think back to these people that you really got to sit there and go, I need more time. I really need to age a little bit before I make this big decision.
I
You know?
need so and well, my problem was going with the whole tattoo thing. My problem's always been I just don't have the money. If I had the money, I'd get a
It
tattoo.
is pricey for a good
Yeah, it
one.
is.
I mean, you can go get
It
the
is.
cheap deals, but my friends went and got some of those $50 quick deals and stuff. I don't like,
But then
but they're
again,
the ones that have them everywhere. They don't care, and I'm like,
now
why do you do that?
when you're doing the whole permanent thing, it's kind of like you really want to spend that kind of money for something that's gonna be permanent for the rest of until your body disintegrates into dust. You
And it's
know?
crazy how it's not even really permanent anymore. I mean, there's multiple ways to get rid of them.
Oh yeah, there is. There's ways to get rid of it if you want to pay that price.
Well, no, I know, but it's crazy how like it's
Like
not,
you
and,
know,
and it's so socially acceptable. I mean, it's
oh
just
yeah,
normal now. It is completely normal to be tattooed up.
yeah.
You
I
know,
remember back in the day when it was you weren't allowed to be tattooed. You couldn't
no, no,
get a
it had to
job if
be
you were
under.
tattooed.
You had to
Yeah,
have it under the shirt.
it's
It
got
was
to be
always
covered.
under the
Can't have it on the
t-shirt.
face.
Yep, and I remember like a friend of ours that had one that just kind of came down to the arm a little bit, and
Yeah.
there was times he used to have at work covering himself up all the time, and now it's people like in the medical field like full like sleeves and hands
Yeah.
done, and
There's teachers. There's teachers with
oh
freaking
yeah, my kids'
sleeves, face
teachers have
tattoos.
yeah, they just it's become kind of the social norm now, and that's fine. I don't care, but like yeah, it's just not but I don't know. Yeah, that's where I'm on this
That's
one. The
yeah.
bill is
That whole thing.
unpopular. Bill is dumb. It should have never been brought forward. It's a waste of our
Oh yeah.
time. Let's lower energy cost.
Yeah. Let's. Yeah. Let's worry about that. Other than this.
If Maine all suddenly, if all the property taxes were low, we had great services. We didn't have a sucky internet and phone provider. Yes, Spectrum calling you out. And CMP didn't suck horribly suck, CMP. We do not like you. We want you
No, CMP
gone.
needs to go.
They suck. So, if you fix those problems for us and you start fixing some of these other little issues and, making things all that, if everything else is honky dory in Maine and everybody else is happy, then you know what? Then start looking at these bills because then you're bored. But we have other stuff to do. I think this is a problem across the whole country. It really is.
Yeah,
Blatantly
it
first
is.
problem country is I get you have to be able to bring any bill forward, but we are too far. We're backlogged. We have a desk full of bills that are important that can't even be looked at. And I mean that's a systematic problem of Congress. But don't
True.
don't add to the pile right now. Just don't.
Well, honestly, with everything that's been going on across the entire United States, we got a lot more other things to worry about.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
So, with our last topic, and this one, again, with everything going on in the United States, New Jersey has deployed its National Guard to Syria.
Why?
Oh, why?
Yes. Why?
So, on Sunday, the New Jersey National Guard sent its 44th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. They prepared them to send them to the Middle East for Operation Inherent Resolve to put a stop to ISIS.
Yeah. Wait.
Well,
Is
hold
ISIS
on.
still around?
Yeah, we were told back in 2018 that ISIS had been disbanded. Apparently not. So, this combat unit is being sent out there to support the U.S. Central Command Combined Joint Task Force. Basically, what they do is they advise, assist, and enable partnered forces until they can independently defeat the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, and in the designated areas of Iraq and Syria, in order to set conditions for long-term security cooperation frameworks. Basically, you bombed us, so we're coming to retaliate. That's what the issue is, because apparently they've been doing a lot of things they're not supposed to be doing to U.S. troops out there.
Right. But what?
And
Why the New Jersey National Guard? Isn't it to guard our nation?
yeah,
That's like
that's what the
sending the
National
Coast
Guard is
Guard.
usually for. But the reasoning, I can tell you why, is because our troops are still over there.
Right. But we're not. We have excess troops still hanging around. You can't send army out.
Well, that's the thing. There's no. All of our troops are already over there.
Doing what?
According.
Not winning.
Well, no. This is what what they've been doing is trying to get rid of ISIS, because according to them,
Which
yeah, in 2018, Trump came out and said we defeated ISIS in Syria. We're bringing our troops home.
yeah, which
We
I'm
didn't
sure
do.
we didn't do because you can't defeat stuff like that.
We didn't do.
It's Hydra. You just cannot do it.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't do it. We didn't do it at all. Congress even came out and said we didn't do it.
Like instantly.
Yeah,
Whoa,
and
whoa, whoa, whoa! He doesn't speak for us.
no, exactly. So basically,
We defeated the Nazis. No, they're still around.
no, they still, yeah, they're still around. You can talk to my son about that one.
They're a bunch of idiot pumpkins, but they are still around.
Oh yeah, yep. So apparently, just like, and this is what I found funny because McCain said something about this. If you all remember McCain, he said something about this years ago. This has turned into a forever war.
Yeah.
This is going to be the 100-year war. This is just because we apparently still have beef with Iran. This is all over BS that's going on with Iran.
Since 1970, whatever, the new
Yeah,
Contra. Yeah.
they still don't like us. We still don't like them. That's what this is all about. You know, no, I can't say that because we'll get banned.
Maybe in Pig Latin you could say it.
My ick day is bigger than your ick day. That's what this is. That's
I
what
know.
this is.
And I love the whole concept of them not liking you know, we don't like Western civilization
Yeah, that whole thing.
unless we're Dubai, because that's what amazes me is like the counterculture combination of like it's so like it'd be like North Korea. Well, actually, there you go. It's North Korea and South Korea.
Right.
It's polarized, and the problem is with America that right now, we are really North Korea and South Korea, and we are Dubai and Iran or Syria. We are our own version of that. The problem is because we're in the United States, we don't. We aren't going to split into two nation states. We did all this
No,
Civil War crap. No,
well,
we tried that. It doesn't work.
Texas
Everybody's
is
too rich.
trying, but we won't go there.
Yeah, well, but it won't happen because we're all we're not actually little nations, and people are too intermixed. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's some pockets where there's going to be way more on one side than the other, but you're not going to. It's not like the whole state of Texas is not all hardcore conservative, anti woke. I mean, you have Austin, you have these areas that are like, San Francisco. You really do. I mean, Florida has it. I mean,
Yeah.
look at Miami. Miami does not speak for Orlando. They are very different cultures. And what's the one up there at the top there? Tallahassee.
Yep.
I mean, or whatever. Like these kind of Atlanta. Atlanta's wicked progressive, but you drive an hour and a half into the other part of Georgia, and the banjos start playing. I mean,
Yeah.
Maine. Look at Maine. You go from the old port and you go up to Eustis.
It's
They're
two
not the
different
same
places.
country. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're a couple hours up, well, they're 5 hours, 4 hours apart, but still, like, it's in the same state. California, go to Northern California, and you have some very conservative people. And you're halfway between Seattle and LA.
No. Yeah. I can believe it because each state, I mean, honestly, if you go to each state, if you were to split up, you would. You would be able to split each state by basically by political party.
Yeah. And you'd have a small fraction left over that doesn't want to be involved.
Exactly. You
You
and
know,
those of us would probably get kicked out.
It, and you're getting more now that you used to have blue and red states. You had a purple state. Now you're getting purple states, but you're also getting like the blue and the red are they're a red state at 50.4%. They're a blue state at 49 points or at 50.2. There's like a couple states that break I think 60% when it comes to it, and they're
One way
very
or the other.
small and
Yeah.
rural. Or like I mean I think you know what is it, Vermont is very blue,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be because it's Vermont, but it's tiny, and it's the culture. I mean, and North Dakota is very red, Montana, because of the small populations.
Yeah, because if you have these states that don't have huge populations, especially huge populations of voters,
Right.
yeah, it's going to swing one way or the other, and most of the time it's
Right. And and then you got New Hampshire, who doesn't comply to anything in the world because they're almost yellow because they're libertarian more than anything. They're one of the most libertarian states. And I think it's
which is
because you
hard to
have
find these days.
yeah, and I think well because the problem is libertarians have beautiful existence in 1892. I mean, they free
Yeah.
trade and no public oversight and no labor laws and no da 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 da, no traffic laws and no the stuff that you're like, well, yeah, I mean that's fine compared to a savage tribal society. Yeah, libertarianism's great, but most people like being able to have a lot of services done for them and not worry about driving down the road and having somebody run into them and having street lights at work and having a fire department and then libertarians, well, that's not what we're talking about. Well, yeah, but then you're questionable in your views. So
Yeah.
that's the problem is, conservatives, I'll give it to them. They will sit there and tell you the view. And I mean, you can disagree with it all you want or factually prove some of it wrong. Them, liberals too, but just saying the conservatives, and they'll look you straight in the face and say, I don't care. It's what I believe and that's what I'm going to do.
Oh yeah.
Libertarians tend to always, well, okay. Well, in this scenario, And that's no different than Green Party, because Green Party does the same thing on the other side of libertarians. It's the other corner of the box, because they'll turn around and
Yeah.
go, well, everybody should be free and there should be no borders. Okay, so I can come into your house and use your bathtub. Well, I mean, if you really needed to, but I'd have to be home. Like, well, no, you have a border now. I get what you're saying about no borders. Europe, parts of Europe do it just great, but we don't have state borders. We do, but we don't. That's our no borders.
We have state lines. We don't really have
Right, but
borders.
no, no, exactly. And that's the whole thing is there are no borders. I mean, and that's fine. We don't, but at the same time, you need to have some separate. You got to draw lines. I mean, because if everybody was perfect, we wouldn't need it.
Oh
If
no.
it was
Yeah, no.
Mister Rogers'
Yeah,
neighborhood,
I went into that. I went into that earlier today in one of my videos.
but we're not. People are
No, we're
chaotic.
not.
People are greedy. I mean, if suddenly tomorrow you knew you could walk into a store and walk out with anything and no one would say anything and you would never get in trouble for it, you might just kind of get a bad look from somebody going, I didn't like that he did that. You
Oh yeah,
can't
you
tell
get
me
the
that you wouldn't be sitting there looking at something you've wanted for a while going, Grand Theft Auto style, like, I could walk
boom,
out with this.
gone.
Right. And once you do it once, then you're good. You're going to keep doing it because you'll.
I mean, well, okay. So speaking on that end of doing that, have you seen what's been going on in a lot of the southern states
In what aspect?
where they're just walking into stores, taking stuff, and running out,
Well,
and
I mean, that's
nobody's
been
stopping
happening
them?
in California and Washington State for a while
Well,
now.
yeah,
I mean,
like it's been
I
walking.
watched it happen here. I watched it happen in Biddeford.
Well, yeah, and it's going on. It's going on
Down
still.
south, I'd be a little more scared because of the guns. I mean,
Oh yeah,
people are
no,
more
people are
likely to
just
pull
running
something and
in.
shoot you.
People are just running in, stealing armfuls of stuff that they don't need, and just running out of the store. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's prosecuting them.
Yeah.
It's getting to that point.
Yeah, and it's going to be the equal opposite yin and yang reaction here, because what's going to happen is I'm already, you're seeing this. We talked about the self checkout starting to go away at some
Right?
stores, some of them getting rid of them. Security's being increased at certain stores. I mean, you look at, I think it's a Walgreens in San Francisco, and there's 90% of the items are behind locked doors. Um, it's like going into a pawn shop or something, or an adult store, or like a head shop. You have to ask somebody to grab something. It doesn't matter what it is. And you're going to have all these stores go to that point, like jewelry store. There you go. There's a perfect example. Jewelry store. You have maybe 2% of the inventory actually grabbable, and it's nothing of value. It's cleaner in
Well, no,
boxes and things.
when I was living in when I was staying in Florida, they had boots behind glass.
Yeah, because
You could not get your work boots without somebody coming in, taking it out of behind glass, and then they would tell you go to this register when you check out.
right, like the electronics section at Walmart, like
Yeah.
we will cash you out. We're going to make sure
Yeah.
we get your money first.
Yeah, they'll
Pharmacies,
cash you out
obviously.
right there. They won't let you out of the electronics area if you grab an electronic. Yeah.
Right.
I've
And
seen it.
then even some of those places, then even after that, you're still door checking a receipt to double it.
Yeah. Which really isn't needed, but
No, it's redundant, because how did you
like
get it? Did you smash the cabinet?
well, yeah. Well, I mean, and the other thing is you've got cameras watching you. You've got in-store detectives that are watching you, and then you've got people at the door watching you. You really think someone's gonna walk out of Walmart with something with that much attention?
No.
Yeah, somebody probably will.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, one thing I've seen a couple times too, and I've seen videos, people doing this and stuff, and not like reels, that is probably fake, but um, people bring in their own bags to these places to do their own, whatever. And I see people all the time. I do it too. Like, you get cold items. I got my bag with me. I put my cold items all in the bag so they stay cold while I'm shopping. Grocery store. But you do that a few times at a store, and then they're walking out. They got all the stuff in the bags. They just go around the cashiers pretty much. They just leave, and nobody's actually even looking at them. I was talking to a loss prevention person saying nobody's even aware of it because everything's bagged up. They're holding a receipt in their hand. And they're going out the door with their kid or whatever. You're just seeing somebody catch them out. You got 40 cashiers at a supermarket, not a Walmart, but a supermarket, whatever. You got a whole line of them. So you're not seeing that. And they walk out the door and they just get all their groceries completely for free for the day. Who knows what they took in there? They could have alcohol, they could have whatever they want, you know, and nobody's even on to them. Nobody's even questioning it because they're like, unless you're literally watching that person the whole time,
Well, yeah.
nobody's
No.
watching them. It's not the same as a Walmart or something that's got like indicators and people going, oh, well, hey, somebody's, in the ammo section, somebody's in the cosmetics, somebody's, let's just keep an eye on that, like, hey, let's put a flag on their head because they have trackers, and being like, let's keep an
Yeah.
eye on them until they go out or whatever, double check the receipt, that kind of things on the radios. It's a supermarket. You got a 15-year-old bagger and a 16-year-old cashier, and you got one manager running around with his head cut off. He's not paying attention to the lady with the kid in the cart with their reusable shopping bags filled to the top holding a receipt. He's
Yeah.
not even on the radar. Doesn't exist. Out the door they go.
No,
But
it's
then
only
you
the
turn
big
around,
corporations that have something to lose.
right? And then you look at the grocery store. I mean, I'm not talking about the little mom and pops, but I mean the bigger ones. But then
Mhm.
you look at that grocery store and you're like, how much theft is actually happening at grocery stores? Yeah, people might be pocketing an item here and there, maybe medicines, but in general, I mean, what are you stealing? A loaf of bread? I mean, you're not. And
Well,
then there's the moral implication. You're stealing. I've always said that. See somebody stealing baby formula, you've seen the memes.
what the heck just happened?
What was that?
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lex. I appreciate that. Apparently, I reached a goal.
Oh, wonderful.
And my friend Lex
I
was the
see
one.
Lex.
Lex, yeah, Alexis. She gave me 20 roses.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Well, that's good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Where
I
are my
appreciate it.
roses?
Uh, I don't know. I think they're
Wow,
black ones.
my favorite color.
Hey.
Um, no, but seriously, I mean that's the thing. Is like moral implication. I mean, like I said, if you see somebody that you know, if somebody literally, somebody's walking out with baby formula, you just, I mean, I'm not. I don't
Oh
care.
no, I'm not. If somebody walks out with baby formula or baby diapers,
Or
I'm
food in general. Like as long as they're not trying to run out with like a cart full of alcohol, but somebody's going out with some lunch meat and bread with their kid.
well. And I just got done doing grocery shopping today, and with some of the prices of food nowadays, I could see that being another one of those things that start getting stolen.
And I'm telling you, if I had to survive, if my kids were going without, that stuff goes out the window for me. I'm not going to break into your house and steal stuff. I'm not going to ever do that.
No.
That has no benefit. Walking out with something from a large corporation that's not going to, blink, bat an eye at it because I need my kids to survive. Yeah, because now we start going back to primal. We start going to the point of like hunt and gathering. And like if it was 3,000 years ago and you saw some, a basket of berries sitting there and there's no one around or nobody's going to stop you from taking them and you're starving, you're going to just walk up and take them. If they're going to try to fight you, you might try to fight to win.
Exactly.
That's how all the nations got where they are. That's where kings got. That's where knights, and all this stuff. That's how they took what they wanted.
Oh yeah, that's just it's the mentality in the world today.
And I think we're starting to full circle to that. We're getting to the point where people are just like, I'm sick of having everything dangled in front of me and then being told we're not allowed to have it.
Yeah, it's not only well. See, my biggest issue right now with the United States is what they're doing at the border, what they're doing with the people coming into the country.
Yeah.
That is the problem I have with the United States right now because there are other deserving people in this country that need that more than what these people coming across the border is.
Right. Well, and the
What?
stupid part is, I'm sorry, but the stupid part is we can do both. We have the resources to do both
Yeah, I know we do, but we sent it all.
legally.
We
We're
sent it
sending
all across the sea.
Right, we're either sending it over there or we're basically just eating it up on crap here and corporate subsidies and the military complex. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many things that are just eat. And you know what? Somebody says, "Hey, we gave $1 billion to NASA." I'm all for it. I trust not NASA. I know they're
Yeah,
expensive, but
no,
I
as long as
trust
they
it.
don't. as long as they don't keep saying, "Oh, we're going to shut you down."
Well, NASA, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
when they keep
right,
saying
right,
they're going
right,
to shut NASA down.
right, 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 yeah. But that I'm for sending them money. I have no problem with the military having a budget. I know we need that, but then you see this other crap that goes on, and then just the fact that like all of a sudden when somebody needs to like build infrastructure, oh, here's $10 billion. Oh, cool. So what are we building? A storage unit. I mean, like,
We have no
what?
idea.
No, it's not. Where are the high speed rails? Now, if that was part of the deal and they were getting built in 3 years, full Chinese style, done, functioning, okay, great. Take our money and do that. I want high speed rail. That'd be awesome. I'm all for that. Oh, we're putting it in to make airliners even safer with all the problems we're seeing here.
That's it.
Fine.
Airlines. Did you hear about the story about airlines?
I,
What they
I
want to do with
already don't like
airlines?
flying already.
No, I don't want. After hearing about that, no, no, you will never catch me on a plane again. Oh no, no, no. There needs to be more. There needs to be more inclusiveness and diversity in airline pilots. Are you kidding me?
The best person in the job, I don't care what they look like. Period. Don't go off of that. Give
No.
everybody the opportunity to learn and test. If they complete that, good for them. I don't care if it's all white, gray haired guys. I mean, I don't care. I
No.
want whoever's best at the job.
Yeah,
And
who
and
has
Bill
the
Maher brings this up a lot.
experience?
He says this a lot. He's like, you've got to have it set up where the programs allow for a diversity. You can't sit there and go, you know what? Statistically, only the white males are good at this job, so that's all we're going to give the opportunity to. No, 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 that doesn't work. However, if statistically 98% of the best people were a certain race or whatever it is, you give those people the job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't purposely go, well, we have to give it to somebody else.
Well, okay, and so this might be a little bit of a stretch. I don't know how much truth is in this. However, I've heard that a lot of corporations, and the government is saying this, a lot of corporations are being told to start hiring people based on race,
Yep. Oh no, no.
gender.
Affirmative action is
Yeah.
really forced, and it's crazy because like in the past in my businesses, like SBA loans and stuff like that, does at least 10% of your workforce contain somebody from? It's a requirement. I mean, it's not a requirement
It
because
used to be. It used to be you needed like a certain diversity in your store, and it
right,
didn't matter. It didn't matter what kind of diversity or what kind of handicap a person had, but you needed to have some person in that demographic working at your store.
right.
Now they've flipped it, and there's actually CBS on their website states that they want to hire non-white women.
Right, because they have had a lack of that demographic in their
Oh
corporate
yeah,
culture for years, and they're looking for them. But the thing is what's interesting me is, I mean, maybe years ago, but they don't discriminate against that demographic for hiring.
no,
They just can't seem to get them to work in that field.
yeah,
So
that's the
that's
other
telling me that,
issue.
right. Whereas Starbucks does not have that issue. Starbucks is very diverse. They really,
They,
they hire
they are.
diverse. I mean, more than I actually, I think if I went and got a job at Starbucks, I would be the minority, which is interesting. But the thing is that's because Starbucks is a good company to work for in general. So these
Yeah.
people feel safe going there, and they pay, and the work is doable, and they train, and they include everybody. That's a great program. That's great. That doesn't mean Starbucks goes out there and goes, we're only hiring African Americans. We're only hiring transgender. They don't do that.
No, they
They
don't.
come out and they say, we want you to work for us. We will do whatever we can to get you to work for us. We're going to make it so everybody's fair shot. There are straight white men that work at Starbucks. There are straight white blonde women that work at Starbucks. There are transgendered African American, Asian, midget,
Yeah.
little people that work at Starbucks. It doesn't matter that everybody can. And that's what these corporations need to do, saying, we want you. We want to hire you. We're not going to give you any advantage over anybody else, but we're going to give
No.
you the same opportunities.
But that's
And
the
we will
thing.
help give you that opportunity. Equity. That's the thing, too. Well, Yeah, but the white male that came from Connecticut came with a degree that they could afford. I'm from the inner city and I couldn't afford the degree. Great. What we're going to do is we're going to offer you a same base pay as everybody else, but we're going to help you with your student debt, or we're going to get you into a training program. That's equity. I don't have a problem with that with minority people or anything. That's fine. Give everybody the same opportunity, not the same advantages, same opportunity.
Exactly, exactly. Give everybody the same opportunity. But that's probably something we need to talk about later.
Yeah.
We've reached our deadline, and
Hey, 3 topics,
yep,
just about a half an hour.
3 topics, just under a half an hour with a couple of 2 topics in between. But my phone's about to die if I don't plug it in.
Yep. Not a problem. I gotta go run to the grocery store and put a bunch of stuff in bags and walk out the door. So, no, I'm kidding.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, I was about to go do that too.
all right. Well, till next week,
Until next week, this has been Mr. J.
I'm the Brian, and we thank you all for tuning into the Jab here, and we'll be back as long as we don't get canceled.
Don't get canceled. Take it easy.
Peace.